Back. Shall we continue?
Yeah, sure. Continue. That's what we're doing. We're continuing.
Let's do.
Awesome. So,
He's way too freaking happy, dude.
Yeah.
Who is?
We're
me?
just gonna die.
Yeah. No. You must gather your party before venturing forth. No. So you guys are make your way all the way back to the cave, and you try to sleep for the night, and you successfully sleep for the night. So you do get your full long rest, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but you do not get all of your HD back. You get half your HD or your hit die back or whatever, but that only matters if you spend them again. Otherwise, you're good to go. But so you guys are in the cave. You spend the night there. You wake up the next day. The cave, of course, is naturally very dark, but that's okay. You had built a campfire so that poor little Otto can see, and all of that.
Hit dice by me there. Good.
What was that? Oh, what? Oh, you guys don't even need to roll that stuff. You just heal overnight, so you're good.
Oh, okay.
Oh, how much do we heal for?
You're back to full health. You're back to
Okay,
full
cool.
health. It's just you only get back half your HD, your hit die, but it only matters if you go to combat. So you guys usually have 4. If you spent all 4, you only have 2 now. Or whatever. All right, so you guys are inside that spot as I discussed beforehand. I only have the map there just so you have a visual. It's not entirely necessary right now. I imagine once you guys finally hoof your way back to the cave, everybody's flipping exhausted. You get the campfire together. Somebody makes some sort of crappy food, or you just mow down some what are they called?
I'm an adventurer. I can fend for us and forage for us.
When you're exhausted after an avalanche has wiped out most of the fauna and flora of
What do you
this
consider
mountain,
exhausted? Because I have like 27 HP.
I think Ramon's idea of foraging for food is hey, wait, isn't there like a dead raccoon right there? And just kind of like scoops up the dead raccoon and cooks that.
He wouldn't forget his friend. Come on now.
I thought Gromit would like carve a bird, then eat the wood and say it tastes like chicken.
Oh, funny. Because I was gonna say there's another dead raccoon right there. If you wanted to grab up that and eat that,
Could add some Yeti meat.
or the Yeti.
I can talk to animals. I can get them to come to me and then murder
Then
them.
betray them.
I'm sure that's Jesus.
Okay, Otto, your slippery slope is not as slippery as Grommen's, so
Yeah.
you're good. So, all right, guys. That night, I imagine there's very little talk, if at all. Everybody's kind of like eats food and passes out. The next morning, maybe you have a bit to talk about. Are you doing okay, Ryan? Go right ahead.
I want to go talk to Rye. I want to figure out what the hell happened. So I'm going to go sit next to her in the morning. Can I start it off by saying, how you doing?
Raya's like still wearing Grommon's cloak at this point to preserve modesty. She's sewn a lot of skin. She got pretty fucked up. Her cloak's gone. She doesn't know where it is. She's all right though. She's like sitting by the fire. She's like, all right, I guess. Bit hungry. You?
I can't complain. I like your trophy, pointing to the Yeti cloak.
Oh, this is just Grommon's actual cloak. It's not the Yeti.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought that was
remember
that
she
one. Okay.
she didn't accept the Yeti. She like
all right, yeah.
took my cloak back because Grumman put her.
Yeah,
on
I thought she took the Yeti cloak back because you just come to terms with it, but
That's
no,
like a
that
bloody mess.
was, right, yeah. I'm glad you didn't go that route. So yeah, okay, then I'm good. I'm great. Do you remember what happened?
I remember the first 2, and then I felt very hot. And then she like leans in and whispers, and she's like, "Have you ever done something and you don't remember?"
Constantly.
she like smirks a little bit, and she's like, "I think I killed it, but I was unconscious."
Really?
Yeah.
You don't even remember doing it?
No,
How?
I don't know. What did it look like?
It was the same one. I swear it.
Like, how did I kill it?
Oh, he was, well, most of what was beyond the skin became visible at some point. So He must have charred right through.
Wow. Maybe I'm invincible.
Maybe you're a god.
Well, if I was a god, I wouldn't have this headache. And my shoulder wouldn't hurt this much. Maybe I'm not invincible either.
Well, we'll find out soon, I'm sure.
What does that mean?
Oh, nothing.
She like
Let's just
shoves
get up
him.
and go.
She like shoves him away as he's walking.
Meanwhile, Grommen is going to try to talk to Thunk and see if he can check out that sword.
Yeah, you probably actually, like, you meander over to Thonk. Thonk's actually looking over the sword a little bit more closely now. If I remember correctly, there's, like, it's dwarven inscriptions on the sword?
Yep.
There is a proper memory, yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm looking it over, and I don't speak Dwarven or read Dwarven, so I'm not quite sure what it says, but I'm inspecting its craftsmanship.
Grommen, I want to look down and see if I can read it.
So you're kind of like peering over his shoulder and just trying to like look at the thing because
Yeah.
Grommen doesn't know that there's dwarven characters on it. Only Maggie does. However, Grommen sees this big ass sword on Thonk's
Wants to see the
back.
sword,
He's
yeah.
Like, what's this? This is pretty exciting. So Grommen kind of like comes over and kind of like,
That's totally what Grommen would be.
and in doing so, Grommen sees a bunch of characters, but remembers that barbarians are illiterate and so they can't read. No, I'm just kidding. That's third edition. Just kidding. we don't judge barbarians anymore. So Grommen looks.
They have more rights now.
What was that?
The barbarians have more rights now. In
Oh
fact.
yeah, all right, yeah. They fought hard. They fought well. So Grommen looks down over his shoulder and reads what it says, and it actually says Skull Crusher.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
What? Okay.
Wait, it says that in non-dwarven?
No, it says it in
Dwarven.
Dwarven.
Dwarven. Grommen
Read
looks
Dwarven?
at it. I guess, what does Dwarven sound like? It probably sounds like blah, 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 or something.
The way I always imagined it is speaking German with like a Scottish/Irish accent.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
difficult as hell.
Yeah.
So Grommen starts saying stuff, but like obviously not with the Dwarven accent. He's like, "Grushu, grush, grushu." And he starts saying that stuff while he's looking over your shoulder.
Thonk, without looking up or looking at you, says, "Can you read this?"
I was like, Maggie, that accent. What was that? Is that even comparable to Sam's Gollum?
We will never know.
I don't know. Will we ever find out?
That's close.
Go ahead, Maggie. I'm sorry.
He's like, Sam's just like, I'm not here. That was great. He's like, I don't know.
Then I continue like inspecting it. It just says Skull Crusher, and I don't know anything else about it.
That's what
Do
it
you know
says
anything
in-
about Skull Crusher?
New.
No. Okay. Okay.
I like saunters over and she's wearing Grommen's cloak like a shawl and she kind of like peeks around the side of Grommen and looks at the sword.
You see a sword. What is it? It's a great sword. It's finely crafted, so on. I'm sorry, I didn't describe this for you, Maggie, but you did hear it last week. You do see a great sword that's finely crafted. There is a bit of design to the hilt. Along the finely crafted wide blade, this thing is clearly has some heft to it. It's a great sword. There are dwarven runes running along the side, whereas poor Thunk cannot read Dwarven. Both Grommen and you can, and once again, looking at the Dwarven runes, you're able to read that they say Skull Crusher.
Ryan just kind of like says out loud like, Skull Crusher?
Grommen looks up at you, and Grommen's like, "That's what I thought it say."
I thought you said
And
you.
then he says it again, but he says it in like.
Thonk looks over to Ryan, then looks back at the blade and nods like affirmingly. And then now that I know it, and he knows what it says, he clicks it into the hilt, puts it back over his backpack or his back, Says thank you.
And as to not leave him out of this, Otto, you heard Skull Crusher. Could you do me a favor and roll me a history check since you're a bard?
Certainly. How about that?
Holy
Oh
shit!
my God, Jesus
Nat
Christ.
20, baby.
Natural 20. Okay.
Otto begins to tell you all about Skull
There's,
Crusher.
there's actually a dwarven song about the Skull
Oh
Crusher.
yeah. Oh, he
that
goes
Otto
full
knows
into
off
it,
by
too.
heart.
It is an ode that's supposed to be recited with like a nice rolling rhythm to it, right?
Mm.
And Otto has to actually drop a few octaves. It's one of those before he starts. He's got to
Into my dwarven voice.
to really bring it down and give it the appropriate tone that it's supposed to. So
Gravitas.
the story goes, whereas this is Kelvin's Cairn, this like mountain peak over here. The dwarves that lived here before, it was predominantly the fact that I can't remember this right now is I'm being murdered by the nerd in the inside. It's the Battlehammer clan lived here beforehand. They eventually left this area as like a en masse to head back to their ancestral home to take it back from a dragon and blah 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 blah. Who cares about that story? The important thing is that when they left, when they were here originally, there was a Verbeeg lair that when they originally took this place. The Verbeeg lair was a very difficult cave for them to clear out. It's a very difficult area for them to have overcome. Many dwarves died in the reclaiming of this area. The defenses that the Verbeeg had set up over time, the huge giant tribe that they had with them, the dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds of goblins. Well, the story would say hundreds of goblins that worked for them. It was ridiculous. Many dwarves laid their lives to try to reclaim this one area that they had. And after they had successfully claimed the area, they turned it into a huge outpost to defend against any other Verbeeg attacks in the future. And what they had done was the Brunor, who is the king of the clan, he actually commissioned for a special weapon to be made for the captain of the guard of this keep, of this little area that watched over Kelvin's Cairn and kept it safe from giants all around the area. And so he was entrusted with this sword as Skull Crusher. It's actually a weapon that was designed for helping to fight against creatures so large compared to the little dwarves. That's why the blade is so big and so broad. So it was crafted for that, to fight these creatures. However, like I said, only like say 18, 20 years ago, the dwarves left this area, and it seems as though it's fallen back into the Verbeeg hands. And as Mathis would know, but not everybody else, obviously the sword was never reclaimed until just now. But you would be able to tell the story in your dwarven ode fashion with your rolling rhythm and your deep
So this is one of those stories that Otto has told a million times. It's one of his go-tos at the taverns.
So I just want to be very clear about this in case anybody has ever seen a map of Faerun. This story has carried such a distance. Where Icewind Dale is, or where Ten Towns is if you look at a full map of Faerun, it is in the top, left, all the way on the west coast, top corner of the map over there. And where Otto is from the bottom far right corner of the map. So actually, I think 2 or 3 countries south of Thesk, which is where we started. So all the way to the east side and all the way to the south of Faerun. This is a diagonal travel of the map. I can literally show you on that map behind me over there. Diagonal travel across the world, thousands of miles. And Otto has heard this story, and for some reason it clung to him, and he knows it by heart. Go ahead.
It's just like an impulse. I just begin busting out into this song as soon as I hear the word Skull Crusher. My eyes light up, and I pop up to attention, and I get, as he mentioned, I get down deep into that dwarven base, and I describe the Skull Crusher, guardian of X place. I thought I remembered it, but what's it called, Scott? The name
Kelvin's
of the place.
Cairn?
Kelvin's Cairn.
Yep.
Guardian of Kelvin's Cairn. This sword brought the fates of several giants. And he goes at length, even pulling out the lute a bit for a small musical accompaniment. Not too much, just a little subtle thing, just to add on to the effect.
Actually would be very appropriate because that lute, that style of playing the lute is also from the West Coast, which is regionally specific to this dwarven clan.
Oh, certainly Otto would know this.
Of course.
Yeah, so you want to give me a? I don't know if this is really helping us out, but yeah, there's Otto's performance.
Oh, you can roll this with that natural 20 and everything. You roll with your advantage on your loot check
Okay.
or your performance check, whatever you're gonna do. Sorry.
Sure.
Hell yeah,
Oh, and a
26.
26 total. No, you're 23 because you were doing so terrible. You rolled a 19 natural. That's beautiful. And 26 total. This is an amazing performance that I imagine even Thunk listens to.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely intently listening. If not for the great performance, but also for the information on what he now possesses. And
Otto goes into detail.
yeah, and Thunk, one, to pay attention to what most people are saying, clearly is absorbing everything you're saying. And at the end, you finish the tale, and with a click, you hear the sword go back into the hilt. And Thonk stands up, puts the blade back on his back. What belonged to the dwarves now belongs to Grumish. It's better in my hands anyway.
Otto is like, now that he's gone through his ritual, he's now kind of infatuated with the lore of it all, and he begins to approach and asks kind of
Grauman's
timidly.
like, tell another story. Tell another story.
I'm so infatuated with this thing that I have to see it, please.
He Thonk, after I put it over his shoulder, he'll take it out of the sheath and kind of draw it and just bring it down, just to kind of show you both sides, to maybe clarify that this is in fact exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and as soon as I see it, I'm even more starry-eyed, and I just wow.
This thing is taller than Otto.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm like looking up and down.
So, and then with a quick flourish, he'll put it back into his hilt.
Yeah, I've been singing about it for years. It's so surreal.
And now you, Otto, as long as you remain with us, get to write the next part of the story.
Oh.
I was very happy about
That was like. Nice.
I'm not manipulating you at all. Don't worry about it.
No.
Ryan kind of nudges at her. She's like, as long as you include me.
And then,
Grauman's
then
like,
we fade to black.
Me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
right? Grauman, yeah, me too. And
Starwipe.
Star wipe. Yep.
Star
As
wipe,
we
yeah,
start
this
walking, towards the exit of the cave, goes away. Fade to black.
All right, now you can pick it up, Scott. I think we've properly set the mood here.
No, that is beautiful. All right, so you guys are looking.
No,
to
no,
leave?
no. It fades to black, and then they're walking, and Grauman goes, I crushed skull too, though.
And then we all
relief.
chuckle. There we go. That's the proper. That's the sentence.
Yeah, and then like the little white words "fin" come up
Yeah.
on the screen.
Fiend.
But it's not really the ending. Everyone's just confused.
Anyway,
So you guys go to leave the cave.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you go and you leave the cave and start heading your way back to town. So if you would like to roll me survival checks, now these survival checks are going to be two things. There's two survival checks, and I'm not going to tell you which one's which. One is to help pick your way back to the town as safely and quickly as quickly as possible, and safely terrain-wise, and the other is to try to avoid, the things that happen to be on the road between here and there.
Here's my first one.
Probably
Oh, no,
Madison Bear.
What?
and
Are you trained in survival or no?
Oh, I'm not trained. Who's trained?
I'm trained, but I only have a 1.
I feel
It's
like
training.
Otto's our best shot.
Does train mean you have the check mark?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trained in survival.
Okay, then you would want in Maggie's train too, correct? Okay, then you guys want to roll with the advantage with whoever has the better one.
I think you do, Thonk. You've got a 4. I've got.
But I'm
a
not
3.
trained, so.
You're trained. You're better skilled than me, Bear. I can give you assistance.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I mean he has a +3 though, so
That's still a good roll. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Could you do it a second time for me, please, Otto, with your 17 as the first one?
Sure.
And your second one is a
20.
20. Awesome. Oh, I guess you get back to town in a decent, safe fashion, avoiding avalanches and yetis and winter wolves and goblins.
Otto leads the way with an inspirational speech.
Of course. Yeah, here's more health points, guys. Let's just make it harder for Scott. And you guys,
We'll never die.
So you guys make your way all the way back to the town, making your way all the way back to the town itself. Now, once again, just because weather is a bit of a bitch, it does take you about 4 days to get back to town again, and you are able to get there in one piece. When you do get back to the town, the guards, of course, doesn't matter what time of day it is, though it is midday. The guards let you in, no problem, and there is a little bit of like woot and cheering as you guys walk into the town because the guards notice who you are and the fact that you were successful in your endeavor. They genuinely seem appreciative of what it was that you had done. So there's a little bit of woots and cheering as you get into town, and a few of the townsfolk watching this, some of them just kind of like join in because they also know what's going on. Some just kind of join in because like, yeah, hey, there's clapping, and other people just kind of like go about their business. What the hell is this? And but there is a little bit of a recognition. And when you guys get to town, do you like immediately head back to Cassius? Do you want to like, oh my god, I want to go back to my bed and just like sleep for 2 days?
What time of day is it?
It is like midday.
Oh, then I'd say we just go to Cassius. And
I would like it to be known that I heavily encourage the whooping and cheering, and I am taking bows to the crowd as we move through the streets.
Awesome. So you guys are heading back through Bryn Shander, trying to find Cassius's place, and to try to find it, going to where you know his place is. And when you do finally get there, as you guys are walking in, just sheer coincidence, you do happen to see walking out the door first and immediately like kind of pushing past you guys and don't make eye contact, don't say anything, are the two identical twin sisters, the blonde hair and blue eyes that never seem to speak much, so they did get vocal enough to yell at you.
When they walk by, Grumman says, "Hey."
They don't respond. They just continue walking, but you can tell by the slight hesitation of the next step when Grumman immediately thinks that, like curiosity caught them, but they decided better against it and kept walking.
He says, "Hey, I talked to you." Again.
Grumman says it again, and this time they seem more like resolute in the decision to ignore Grumman and keep walking. However, at the same time, you do see Sir Lockhart?
Lorik?
Lorik!
Yeah.
Sir Lorik. I'm thinking Lockhart. What's that? Is that like Harry Potter or something? So Sir Lorik is coming out the door behind them and clips the door shut, and he does actually turns to see you guys, and he greets you saying, hail, friends.
Sir Lorik, glad to see you made it back in one piece.
And likewise, it took you some time to get back here. You found your friend, and that pleases me to do so, that pleases me to see so. He kind of like nods to Rye.
Grumman lifts up some of the Yeti fur and's like, "We run into problem."
Yeah, I got a prize though.
And it seems as though you solved it in the fashion that you know best. Good sport, Grumman. And gives like a nod. And with
Grumman's
that,
like, "Oh, no, me, her," and he points out to Rye.
To that, like he looks at Rye and his helmet's off, so he raises an eyebrow at Rye, like curious about that. He never really got to see what Rye was capable of. He saw like one spell get thrown, and then Rye got thrown, so he didn't really see anything. So he raises an eyebrow at Rye and kind of like lets it linger for a moment. Does she react to that at all, or?
Rye's like still wrapped up, shawled like in Grumman's cloak because her armor's all tattered and shredded. So she just gives him like a timid smile, but like doesn't say anything.
And just as a reminder, Sam, this is the person you had snuck up on before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yep. So he kind of that ends there. He looks over at Thonk, makes eye contact with him, and says, "Thonk."
Thonk doesn't do anything.
And he turns back to the other three and says, "Well, may Helm watch over you and guide your next step into making the wisest decision to help yourselves and those around you." And kind of like, says his goodbye and walks past.
I say, yeah, see you later.
You too.
That's better.
Yeah. As he walks through you guys to leave, but not like through you, but as he walks through you guys to leave, he will give Gromman like a nice hard slap on the shoulder because Gromman's a damn good fighter. You know what I mean? And carried him at one point in time.
All right, Grumman's gonna punch him back in the shoulder.
Well, luckily he has metal to protect him because he's strong, but not as beefy as Grumman. And you hear like a, and he rides off into the night with his gleaming armor and all that. You guys were able to go into Cassius's, the mayor's manor, and walk in. As always, knock knock. Nobody answers. Knock knock. Nobody answers. But you're welcome, so you do go in. I assume, yes.
Oh yeah.
And you make your way in, kind of walking in, looking to your left and right. You see that he's not down here, so he's obviously upstairs. And where he is upstairs, he's actually over. And you go up there and you look into his office. He's not at his desk. He's over at the table you were talking about beforehand. And he has that same map from before out, and he has once again like little miniature figurines, kind of like representing things on the map. And he's kind of like standing over it, and he's like playing with the stubble that he has in his face because it's like midday already. And he's like playing with the stubble that he has in his face, looking over the map and just kind of like contemplating the things that are on it. As you guys walk up, he does, of course, like look over at you and give you a nod, but like acknowledging you, but he's clearly like in the middle of thinking about something. How do you proceed?
I'll give him a little bit of time. I'm not gonna give him a ton of time, but maybe a minute here, a minute or two.
Raman's gonna go sit down in front of the map too and go, "What are we looking for?"
Otto's gonna hop up on a chair on the other side.
It's one of those things where like 2 seconds pass before he's like, like another 5 or 6 seconds pass. And then finally, it's almost as though he just realized that someone was speaking to him, and kind of like blinks a couple times and looks at you, and he's like, "What? Oh, just solutions. Just another moment." And he kind of like looks down at the map some more.
Are there any because I remember Grauman had made those little figurines before and placed them on the map. Are those still there? Are they moved or anything like that?
Those are actually the figurines he's using to represent things on the map. He's actually using those on there. So, and so those are there, but not all of them are because he just doesn't need as many. Probably maybe another minute passes before he kind of like nods to himself, like scratching part of his stubble, nods to himself, and he's like, "Okay, yeah. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to be rude. From what I understand, the job has been completed."
Correct.
Would you care to give me your telling of the tale?
Otto steps up. Happy to. Well,
when you say that, happy to, and you're like, well, as you're saying, well, he kind of like realizes what's about to happen. He goes over to his cupboard and grabs a bottle and then just kind of pours himself a drink, and turns back, realizes can't just pour himself a drink. It's too rude to do so. And so he pours a few more drinks for you guys as well, poignantly puts the bottle back into the shelf, closes the cabinet, and then comes over with the drinks or gestures for you guys to grab your own drink. But
wonderful idea.
And he lets you tell the story. Like he'll gesture to you if you don't start on your own.
Yeah. Otto goes at length describing their procedure, and actually, as I begin to describe what happens when we approach the mouth of the cave, Otto embellishes our attempts at distraction just a touch to maybe make it seem a bit more like we weren't as incompetent as the twins maybe passed on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I need to roll a deception for that or anything, as I'm sure he's been told what happened already, right?
It's all overall going to be a persuasion check to try to play up how amazing you guys are. Nothing would have succeeded if it wasn't for us. We're
and just man, we had him on the ropes, but this avalanche came out of nowhere, and everything just got completely turned on
when
its
the
head.
avalanche aspect of
truth,
when the avalanche part comes up, Thonk will actually interject and make it a point to point out that the avalanche was caused by the yowlings of Sir Lorik leaping over the cliff. So
That's such a lie.
it isn't a lie. That's exactly what happened. He shouted a bunch, and that's what caused the avalanche. So he will make sure to point that fact out, that the reason we were caught in an avalanche is because the man who decided to come and help us caused more trouble than he was worth.
Otto won't disagree, but he will try to continue along the story very quickly after Thonk points this out.
Okay. So, Otto, roll your persuasion check for me, please. That is not with advantage.
Okay.
Oh my God, you're crushing with these dice. 23 total. That's amazing. Okay, so 23 total. That's awesome. You tell the story. When he says that thing about Sir Lorik, Cassius can obviously tell, like, he's not an idiot. He's a pretty wise person. He understands Thonk's perspective in this, and but he listens to the story, and he, after it's all kind of said and done, he's like, well, thank you for explaining your part of things, and thank you for telling it in such a fancy way. The theatrics were very much appreciated. Most of what you say actually lies pretty much hand in hand with exactly what Sir Lorik had told me. So I do, of course, want to say thank you for the services that you did. And he turns to Rye, and he's like, I'm genuinely sorry about the experience that you had. I'm guessing, gesturing to the furs that maybe dragged a little dirt and old crusted blood and whatnot across this floor, gesturing towards the furs, I'm guessing that you at least were able to have your revenge for your experience. Kind of leaves it hanging to see if somebody answers it.
I kind of just grins at him, which kind of tells all.
Yep. And he'll kind of like nod through that response and say, but of course, I am a man of my word, and we've made a bargain. The deal was for 3 of you to receive your 1,000 gold pieces, and the other one is 500. All of you will, of course, receive the rest of your money that is due. It'll be delivered to your home tomorrow, same as it was last time, and you're welcome to it. Now, again, Thunk, you know of the deal that we've made, and I, of course, am going to honor that deal. The pass, I have received word a few days ago, is completely sealed. There is no way anybody in their right mind is going to try to get through that pass until the melting. So my suggestion is that you sit comfortable and relax for some time.
Otto likes this very much.
Grauman sits back and finishes the drink.
Thonk kind of stands at attention. We're just like getting it ready, nods in agreement, and he says, good, I have work to do this winter in this town anyway. And he turns to leave.
His mouth kind of opens again.
Grauman's like, Thonk? What work?
Part of the agreement.
So
Grauman's gonna look at Adam and be like, agreement? No one say I have to work.
Oh, don't worry, buddy. We don't have to work.
Oh, we make Thonk work?
Oh, yeah.
I
he's
like
gonna do
this
it all.
plan.
Yeah, me too.
Rye just gets up and follows Thonk. She's more quiet than usual partly because she's kind of embarrassed that people keep telling the story of how she's killed this Yeti and she doesn't remember it. So she just kind of like follows Thonk out the room.
So you guys make your way out of the place and imagine back to your homes where you can just kind of like crash for a day or two and just like soak in the relaxation. Feel free to interrupt me if you feel as though there's something specific that you need to do. However,
I feel like Otto and Grauman need to go on an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
A
A
drunken...
drinking and singing adventure
You guys
at
celebrate.
some point. But go ahead.
A long time coming.
I'm gonna Maggie like Skyping me on Saturday, being like, "That's it, we're doing it. We need to have a side quest with. We need to do this. We need to kill a dragon." So
That does need to happen at some point.
Jesus. Well, of course, it is Dungeons and what Yeti. So you guys head back to the house. The next day, your gold is given to you. Yay! Your rewards were earned, and of course, you reap the benefits of it. So you do have the 3 big chests, 500 gold pieces each, or slopped on the table, or 4 if you get whatever it is to make sure that the monies are paid correctly. If you choose to count it, it is all correct. Whatever. And at this point in time, you kind of just settle in for the winter. You know what I mean? Now I know everybody has various things that they might want to do. For instance, you grab that Yeti fur for a specific reason. Mathis snagged up a bunch of like leather and a sword and stuff and so on. So it's wintertime. You guys have literally months to spare inside Bryn Shander, and you, as long as you're not over the top extravagant, your room is paid for, your food, and to a certain degree, your drink is paid for here. How do you choose to spend your time?
Partying.
Working. Setting up a small chapel.
We're learning a lot about our characters here, aren't we?
Rye's like never had this much money in her life before, and she goes to the tailor and makes a rather ridiculous request for a cape, as well as purchasing some new clothes. She asks for a cape made exclusively out of raven feathers, the whole thing.
So actually, before you guys had even left days ago to head on this, Rye had put that request in for when she, but so when she goes in there to check on that for this request and to maybe even add a lot more detail to it or whatever the case may be, you're able to see that they've started like working on like the shoulder area, working down towards the cluster, trying to work its way out, like just kind of working the whole thing together. But the person that's working on it, the bags upon bags of just feathers that they have back there, and you can tell that there's clearly a pile of stuff to use, stuff that's clearly already been discarded, and then the ones that they've already checked and they're good to go and they're starting to work with them now. Like the amount of work that they're putting into this is obviously significant, and it's not like this is going to be done in a couple of days. It's clearly going to take a long time to finish making this whole thing.
Yeah, they like summon right now and then so they can like fit it to her and stuff, and she like pops over there.
Absolutely. And they are of course going to work on that to make it absolutely gorgeous, and we'll worry about what that is when it is time that you receive it. Is there anything else that Sam, that Rye would want to do to like really kill time in this gap that's happening here?
Not really. Rye's never really had time off before, because it was like still to eat and live, and it was like go on this adventure, and now it's like she has like months and a bunch of money and a house, and she's never really kicked back. So I think she just kind of takes it easy.
So it's kind of like Aladdin 2, where you're like, I guess we can bring back the villain from the first ones and make life interesting again.
She's like, Rye, like, all right, Rye kind of like, she takes up cooking for the group. Like she'll go to the market and she'll like experiment, and it's like really bad at first, but it like gets better. And she like cooks for the house.
This is so good, right, Otto?
Gromman being like, Rye, Otto, not so subtle, wink.
Like spit it.
How did you learn to make this? Wow.
Just experimenting,
Yeah. You can't even tell.
That goes on for like the first week or two until
We
she like
adopt a dog just because we don't want to eat the food. So we can feed
there's
it
like
to
there's
them.
like stray dogs, and they're like Rye doesn't understand why the stray dogs keep sitting outside the house.
Grandma keeps calling them.
Eating them the shit that she's cooking.
It's like, I can imagine it's like college years when you're like, wait, I could put frozen carrots in my ramen and make them so much better, guys.
I was hamburger helper all day, every day during college, man. That was
About once a week when Thonk goes to worship, one of those dogs just goes mysteriously missing.
Oh, why you gotta do that? Come on.
Yeah, Gromman goes to count and he's like, 1, 4, 8. Hey, where Fido?
Oh, he named it.
Oh no, I took the named one.
Yeah, so that's right. Rye spends her winter learning how to cook, much to the group's displeasure. And often they don't come back. They like eat at the tavern or something, and they're like, "Oh, we just ate out. Don't worry."
Awesome. So actually, Sam, kind of funny, because Rye would very quickly become very bored, and she's literally picking up cooking as a way to spend time. One of the cool things about 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons is when you spend downtime training a skill, you can actually learn new skills or whatever the case may be, literally train skills or tools or languages or whatever. Do you think Rye would spend her time trying to learn Chondathan, which is the regional language? Because right now you guys are smattering your way through Common or hoping.
Yeah. I'd say like her trips to the market means that she has to like pick up Chondathan and speak to the stall sellers and stuff, the merchants.
Gotcha. And doing what she can to try to speak in their language and try to like for that. Okay,
Like
awesome.
she learns what everything's called in Chandaran and tries to ask for it and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. It's one of those things where you're slaughtering the word. Like, can I get that quesadilla? Can I get that quesadilla with extra japalinos?
Japalinos.
Yeah, I want some queso on my quesadilla. Oh, buddy, just
Throw on some pica de gallo.
yeah, pica de gallo. That's so deliciosos.
I thought you liked the polo.
Polo.
Some spicy polo.
I'd be choking the polo. No. So, anyways,
No, Scott. No.
So you guys are. So that's what Rye's doing. Otto, aside from going out and getting schmammered with Grommen
Face
every day,
every day.
Every night.
probably
and-
drinking cheap stuff to keep it free.
No. You know, I'm making my own way here. I think the Ballad of Skull Crusher actually reinvigorated my desire for performance, and I've found a couple of local taverns. I've set up shop more or less here, and I'm
So
making.
Bear,
Yeah.
something that Scott and I figured out was that Grommen actually gets an instrumental weapon. Or not an instrumental weapon. He gets an instrument as like a separate thing.
That's awesome. What do you want to
So he's gonna take up the drums. So
Oh, yeah.
some bongo action or congas
yeah.
or something like that.
do? Oh, we're gonna do some slam poetry up in this bitch. Let's go. I'm ready for that.
I want Grumman to have like an accordion.
God,
I
find him.
keep thinking it was a gif of that
Pressure.
what is it? That monster from the Power Rangers with the accordion.
Oh God.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It's like a
one.
troll-looking character. I don't know. It's horrifying.
The only Power Rangers enemy I remember is Thousand Eyes dude that is just eyeballs everywhere, which freaked me the fuck out as a kid. Yeah, Otto's gonna be doing a lot of performing, and apparently with Grauman as his new bandmate.
I'm
which
just
is
thinking.
fantastic.
I'm just thinking.
Percussion.
What was the name of that movie? The sequel to Mallrats. There before like Dogma, all that. I just imagine Grommen's like smashing on drums, being like Berserker. I can't remember. No, the
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Paul Blart Moral Cop 2.
no.
Oh my God! Someone from chat just says Grommen just has a triangle and hits me once in a while.
We got a gong up there for him. Every now and then it's gonna go.
Isaac.
Oh, it can also be used as a shield.
That's awesome.
There
No,
you go,
okay.
Grommen always thinking with the war. So awesome.
So am I able to like? So yeah, you mentioned how Rye can like learn the language and that kind of thing. So am I able to maybe increase my proficiency in a skill or something like that? Is that an option?
You can start working on it. Exactly. Yeah. It
Okay.
takes a long while to be able to do it. Especially working with like a skill or something. But it's going to take a while for you to be able to do it, and you can.
Okay.
Because Rye is specifically doing this, usually it takes longer to be able to learn the language. However, Rye, we're going to say she's doing the whole like Rosetta Stone style or whatever it is, where it's like full immersion. So
Yeah.
I'm going to actually allow Rye to pick up the full language.
Rye's like cooking food and she has like the earbuds in while she's cooking food and she's like, pollo, pollo.
Like, I can also already read it, so that helps a lot. She can read everything, and then she only has to learn what it sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So now Grommen, aside from Grommen realizing I know how to play drums, what's Grommen doing this time?
So outside of playing drums at night with Bear and getting wasted and probably not remembering that he played drums at all, Grommen kind of goes disappearing, like he disappears during the day, and that's why he keeps coming back with all these wolves and dogs, stray dogs and stuff. And originally he was just going out there to practice his swords or his axemanship and axing some trees, some questions. But the more he stayed out there, the more he started talking to the animals and kind of getting to know some of the creatures in the area.
Awesome.
And he's started to befriend specifically this one eagle that just keeps coming back every time.
Terrific. So spending a lot of time like in nature, communicating with the animals. Actually, literally found an eagle that was probably about as smart as Grommen, and really enjoys like the in-depth conversations that you guys have with one another, and that's pretty cool. So you guys really get to know each other, being biffles with an eagle. Terrific. And Thonk.
You know what I'm doing, so.
Oh God.
What? I got the rights.
Give us some goddamn detail because all of us want to have nightmares tonight.
No, it's very much he's looking for a place to set up a temple of some sort, whether it be small or large, probably small with the budget that he's allowed, and just renovating it to the best of his ability, paying for people to help renovate it. Probably gonna go through most of my money just getting this thing up and running.
So you literally want to blow through like 400 gold pieces,
Yeah.
buying a small plot of land, renovating it, and getting services
Yep.
put up, and maybe buying dogs to murder.
I'm not gonna buy dogs to murder.
Just gonna steal.
Grauman
Maggie.
provides them for free, so I don't need to buy any.
Yeah, Grauman keeps like bringing all these animals to their death. It's horrible.
And she doesn't even realize it.
Luckily, Grauman has a 9 wisdom and a 7 intelligence, so Grauman's never gonna figure that out.
But yeah, no, I'm probably gonna blow through a good chunk of my reward to set up a temple here.
Okay, well, does 80% or 400 gold? Does that sound appropriate to you?
Yeah, that's fine. It's your call.
Okay, well, you saying that, I will say that you are considerably. That's a lot of that is a lot of money.
Yep.
Mathis.
I
That's
know.
a lot of money,
Yep.
especially in a small, out of the nowhere town like this. That's a significant amount of money. So you are, in fact, able to put together something that's. It's not the greatest thing in the world. It's not like you built this amazing stone monument or whatever, especially the time that you have. We were able to get a good sized plot and to do a lot of renovations to it and put it together, and you're able to attract a lot of people. I'm going to say a lot of people. Considering a short period of time, a lot of people to come to this place, especially considering the quality of services that you're doing and whatever services that you're offering, maybe even healing spells for people's. Now, what is it that you are looking to do? What is it that you're looking to like? Are you looking to attract anybody or specifically orcs and half orcs? Like, what are you trying
Well,
to
obviously, there's a preference for orcs and half orcs. I don't know how many orcs and half orcs are in this town. That would be ideal. However, everybody can be a tool regardless of their race. It's just orcs and half orcs are the chosen race. So, won't turn down anybody, but will actively encourage orcs and half orcs joining.
Awesome. I'm not even going to be roll for this. I mean, spending that much money in that period of time, you were just very successful in what it is that you are trying to do to get this together, to build this faith and whatnot in this area. You're definitely going to make it so this religion lasts in this place for a long while. All right, so
Yeah, basically, yes. The goal here is like when I leave, the risk of this place being destroyed is low because there are members that are going to protect it.
So we have Maggie kind of learning the basics of falconry. We have Rai finishing off understanding Chandathan, though with a heavy accent. Rai will be able to get through with Chandathan. We have Otto, who is starting to learn a skill. I don't know. He's decided which skill yet he wants to learn. And then we have you, who's forfeiting the option to try to enhance your character, to instead try to expand your faith and build like a base of operations in this small little town, correct? Awesome. Otto, did you decide which skill it is or no?
Can I do perception?
Yeah, if you want to work on like seeing stuff,
Yeah.
absolutely. Is this one of those things where you're like, all right, I'm how many fingers? Hold up again.
I've got to train myself exclusively when drunk so that when I'm sober, I'm at the tip of.
Grauman's like holding his hands up and like moving them, and then sometimes he changes it and he puts up all more hands, and he's like, wrong. Count again.
Man, I swear you had what? Oh, okay.
Okay, so now the other thing that we're going to go over before we jump through this winter. The Yeti fur. Were you guys doing anything with that Yeti fur?
My bongos are lined with Yeti fur. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what they want to use the Yeti for.
We should make a.
Someone in the group should get some armor out of it, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could probably it probably won't be enough for Grauman or Thonk, right?
You can totally bring it to a tanner and have it turned into like a thicker, like have it toughened and is treated or whatever to have it turned into like a type of like a leather, studded leather, hide armor sort of thing, if that's your goal. You could also try to turn it into like, say, a very heavy cloak or something like that. Or you can have it like sliced up and turn it into some nice clothing. I don't know. Maybe Rai wants a sultry, very revealing Yeti fur outfit,
Why is that
midsection.
revealing?
Because it's Yeti fur. Isn't that the thing? Is that not a thing?
I would like some Yeti.
That's kind of
fur.
sexy, Maggie. It's Yeti.
It's Yeti fur.
Maybe
have
if you're
some-
a furry. We just learned a lot about both of you tonight.
That's why there's not a lot of it.
Maggie, I don't know if you remember, but I learned what yiffing was, okay?
I still don't know what that is. So I don't-
No, that's okay. So moving on.
Can I make some Yeti pants?
I'm gonna Google Sam Strippin yiffing and see what comes up.
Oh God. So
I feel like Grauman should make like a fucking studded armor or something out of it.
Yeah.
We could try something like that. Because, like, as long as I'm not wearing heavy armor.
What armor have you got now?
I have. I upgraded my armor recently, so I actually have like
Oh yeah, you did. Right?
breastplate.
How about for? Well, no, Thonk's not gonna wear.
Anna,
it.
you use leather,
no.
right?
Yeah, I use leather, so I could make
You
something out of it.
should get like a swanky leather Yeti armor.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll make a full get up. I want like just pure white fluffy pants though. That's the thing I want the most out of this. Is almost
The rest, okay, fine. He gets pants, and the rest of it I'll use for a cloak. Since
that's
Wait,
good.
I don't know what I did with my cloak.
AC though.
That's true. I mean, like I should have some practical use out of this besides my stupid
I feel like
pants.
Gromon already has like an enchanted cloak, so we should just get like a full set of armor made for Addo.
So if I did this,
Yeah,
like,
I like
what
that
would
idea.
be the benefits of this, Scott? If I were to make this into like a full-fledged armor?
Well, I imagine you're going to go with light armor, not medium armor. Though,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're not even proficient in medium armor as a bard.
Yeah.
So you go light armor. If you want, so it's all up to you for whether you want for like flavor context. So studded leather is what you're currently wearing, because studded leather is better armor than regular leather. But what kind of studs would you use to make this Yeti fur look good? And
I mean,
there will
man,
be, I will tell you, out of game here, there will be another effect, but we'll worry about that afterwards.
Okay. Well, I'm looking like, what can I improve my AC with? Basically, here is there a possibility?
You can theoretically, if you keep it studded leather, it will stay the same. If you use leather, it'll get weaker theoretically.
Oh, all right.
So is this just like an appearance thing? Like what kind of studs do you want in it? Just how you want it to look?
Yeah, I mean, we all know there's a couple of studs right here, but
Hey,
Hey.
can I get it studded with sapphires?
I mean, usually you want to use like a metal or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sapphire.
Can I just be a walking bling magnet?
Yeah, Tom.
No, Bear does have some gems. Don't we have like a bunch of gems?
You do actually, yes.
You could totally. You know what? The clasp that goes over some of the things, you could make those have like little ornate.
Okay.
True. Yeah, I could also bedazzle my Yeti pants if.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say your cod
do that.
piece.
I think
Well,
he
that's-
just
I thought that's where that was
I want
going.
you to rivet studs, right?
Yeah,
In the Yeti fur.
yeah.
What you say? Describe it one more time, Bear. I'm sorry, I totally missed that.
Bedazzled pure white Yeti pants.
Oh my god.
Dazzled pure with Yeti pants and probably some sort of Yeti tunic or whatever to add to it, or at least Yeti
He's
highlight.
showing off his abs, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay,
Work
Bear, I've got the idea of what you're trying to do, and you want to go with studded leather using both gems mixed with some sort of metal to make sure it's completely bling. Yes,
Beautiful.
you are ridiculous. And you did also find a large size leather outfit or hide armor beforehand. Thonk had brought it in. When you go now, mind you, this is large size. You probably have to have Gromit assist you in delivering this, or maybe Thonk assist you. But when you go to make this request for this Yeti fur to the tanner, would you like to bring this with you to have it looked at?
Yeah.
Someone can carry it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay, Thonk? I know you're finders keepers, and I didn't kill it, but I'm going to keep the reward.
I found it.
Mhm.
That's all that matters.
We snuck it out. He didn't see.
I think Virgil found it first.
Wait. I want to see if Gromit can be
Yeah,
stopped.
can we roll a stealth check?
Doesn't even beat my passive perception.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that 13 does not beat
Give
his
you the
passive.
bardic inspiration on it.
You throw a d6 at her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Come on, 6.
One.
Damn it.
Yeah, so no. So Thonk, you cool with them taking that there or what?
The sword? I had
No, the,
plans for this thing. What is it?
Not the sword.
We're
What is it?
bringing the what was it again?
It was the leather that he found, or the hide armor that he had found.
Yeah,
It was
go
like,
No,
for
but
it.
where was that? Like, where was the actual armor that he found? Where did he find it?
on
Found
the
it in the-
on the corpse of the Verbeeg that had spells.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead. Take it.
Mhm.
Take it and get it appraised or whatever.
Okay, awesome. So you guys bring it to the leatherer, and you bring the Yeti fur to the leatherer, the tanner and stuff like that to go and have the stuff worked on, looked at, or whatever. So you go in. This is a dwarven tanner that you go walking up to, and kind of walking to his shop. He's like, "Oh, hello, come in, please. I'd love to. Is that Yeti fur I see? Oh, this is so exciting." It's very rare that I come across adventurers that are either capable to actually kill a yeti as opposed to be eaten by them, and then another who's actually smart enough to know to skin the thing. Oh, this fur is so amazing! And he's kind of taking it and he's like smelling it and he's playing with like the tension of it and whatnot. He's like, oh, I can see you didn't salt it here. Kind of like being a little salty about the fact that you guys haven't like treated it or tried to preserve it in any way. But it is very cold out, so that worked in your favor. And so he's like looking at the stuff and spending some time looking at it. And he's like, okay, what is it that you want? And you have like a quick conversation. And Otto starts making these ridiculous requests, and you can just see that the tanner is just kind of looking at him like what? So he kind of cuts him off, and he's like, I'm Tanner, not Taylor. I will work the fur and get it, and you can bring it to the tailor to do that with it. He does say, however, kind of like looking at you, a little disturbed. He goes, but the amount of fur that it takes to do such a thing, and he's kind of like looking at you like how things look smaller when, he's kind of like, you're not going to take up much fur to do that. There will be a bit left. Is there anything you had planned with the rest of this fur?
Wish none.
I'd like to make a cloak of sorts, if you could.
Yes. Well, I can definitely do that. And he says that he'll like get together that stuff, and he tells you that he can actually do most of the work to get the cloak together and everything too. So he looks as though he's going to be able to do this, and he kind of like barters with you back and forth for a price. Why don't you roll for me your persuasion, sir? 17 persuasion. So with that 17, you are able to kind of barter with him back and forth, and he tells you that for 100 gold pieces, he would be willing to do all of the work to get this into a great shape for armor making and so on and so forth. He does tell you that it's very difficult to work with this kind of stuff, and this does not complete the set. It's just doing the tanning work.
Yeah.
I imagine you agree to that?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Awesome. All right, so you, after you kind of come to that, you then, present to the rest of the armor for him to look at. How do you go about that one?
Well, I can't carry it, so it would have to be Gromit, I guess, that's displaying this for him.
Okay. Grauman carries it.
Just kind of like puts it over and kind of like slops on the table.
Yeah. Flops it on the table.
Like, all right, what do you have here? What do you have?
Put it on the table?
Well, on the table. He is sitting on the table. So you guys make your way over to the he makes his way over to the leather armor, and he starts looking it over, and he's like, oh, this is strange, because in case you didn't hear Sam hadn't heard the description of it before, the leather armor seems poorly made. It's incredibly stiff, comprised of leather patches that are sewn together, and the studs are made out of like something strange, to say the least. They look like they're made out of like collapsed metal tubes with some broken gems or something like that set into them, as though they once served another purpose, and it has a bit of a strange smell to it. That's this armor, Sam. So he's kind of looking this over, and he's looking at it, and he's like, this leather, it seems strange, and kind of spends some time really looking at it, and kind of like gives it a bit of a sniff, and he's like really inspecting the tubes, and like it's almost as he understands a little bit more and a little bit more, like a horror sets over his face, and then he looks at you guys with like horror and disgust, and he reaches underneath, like nearby, goes over and grabs an axe and raises it overhead. And he's like, "How dare you!"
Grauman's gonna grab his axe and try to block it.
So make me an athletics check.
Okay. Athletics.
Oh my God, a 25.
Damn.
That's amazing. So Gromit kind of goes over and like grabs like the axe and like gets a very quick, firm hold of it, and is easily even able to pull it out of his hands if he chooses to do so. And so Gromit like rips the axe out of the guy's hands, and he's like, "What are you doing? What is the?" Oh! And he just starts like cussing and swearing and whatnot in Dwarven. Gromit understands these swears and whatnot, but the only swear that really translates that I don't know is like sandstone, which is kind of like a motherfucker. And so he's like swearing up a storm, and it actually starts like pounding away at Grauman's chest. Now this isn't pounding to the sort where Grauman actually is like taking damage from it. He wears armor, he's pretty beefy and whatnot, but he's like literally wailing and pounding at Grauman's chest as he's like flipping out and being angered from it.
Grauman's like, calm down, little man.
Otto tries to step in and defuse the. Whoa! Hey, what is it? What is happening? Why are you? What's the matter?
He's like, oh! He just kind of like lets out this like this loud like war scream, like you would imagine, like if he was literally like running down a hill and waging a war against.
Okay, Grommen is gonna beat him up then.
Okay, go right ahead, Maggie. Make
He's
your
gonna-
attack roll.
My attack roll. Okay.
Decapitate him, Maggie. Holy shit.
It's one less than that, but that's okay because you still did friggin'. Well, I imagine you're not hitting him with the axe. You're punching him in the face, right?
I think she was hitting him with the axe.
Murder the man.
I was planning that he had the axe in his hand, but sure, we can say he punched him in the face. Sure.
Oh, no, I mean, are you swinging it at him with like the axe, or do you want to like knock him out?
Yeah, let's just knock him out.
Okay. So it's a 25 chance to hit, which is still insane, and the damage is going to be what's Grommen's +3? Yeah, +3. So no, +4. So it's an automatic 5 points of damage. 1 + 4. We do 5 points of damage. It's not enough to drop the guy, but it's enough to like throw him backwards and like against the wall. So Grommen just kind of like wheels back and just like slugs him square in the chest, sends him stumbling back several feet, and like slams him against the wall behind him. It's as like the wind is knocked out of him, and
as he's gathering himself up along the wall, I'd like to cast suggestion, and I am going to put the thought in his head. I am going to calm down. I'm going to explain the situation, and I am going to apologize for my behavior.
Okay. So you cast that spell suggestion, like, you know, kind of like doing your Jedi mind trick. And as he's like, I'm sorry. I'll calm down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my actions. I'm sorry. I just, what you brought, I suppose it wasn't you. You just brought it here. It's too big to be yours. I'm sorry for how I've behaved. It's just that armor. It's made of my people. You know, it's made out of dwarven skin.
Oh shit! Okay, we're gonna go.
Horrifying.
I think we can leave.
Grommen's gonna be like, "You make armor out of people's skin?"
I mean, everything's made out of something, and leather is made out of flesh. And
Grommen's mind is like,
Everything is from something.
it seems as though this armor was made of dwarven skin.
I'm going to like, I feel genuinely horrible about doing this because obviously we had no idea. So I'm going to like, having just cast the spell on the guy too, I feel like horrible about it. So I'm going to, as genuinely as I can, say, sir, I am so sorry. We had no idea. We found this armor out in the wild. We will leave. We mean no ill will. I am terribly sorry for the offense. We'll be on our way. And I motioned to Grommen to hopefully have him take up the.
Grommen I'm gonna help the guy up, and then I'm going to grab the armor. And as we're walking out, Grommen's gonna turn around and say, "I sorry," but in Dwarven.
Ooh, nice.
He nods in appreciation to the thank you. But as you kind of like go to scoop up the armor, he looks at you with a bit of a sternness to him. But obviously, much of the battle taken out from both the punch in the chest and the spell that was cast on him. And he says, "You'll destroy it, surely."
Yes, kind of lying, but yes.
Yep. Just like a firm yes, and just leave it at that.
Yes.
And so he kind of he's nodding to that, and he's like, "Good, that's evil."
And I nod and I acknowledge and say, yes, I would not have even dared. But I'm hesitant to say it, but I do say, can we still count on you for the other work?
Yes, this wasn't your doing, and you say you'll destroy it, so yes.
I offered my hand to consummate the agreement.
Absolutely, and he takes it, of course. And
Gonna get married.
and with that, as you guys walk out of the shop, we walk into our second break.
All right.
Sounds good. We'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere.